Well, everyone, it's time for us to go ahead and take a look at the iPhone 14 and compare it against the iPhone XS and see which specific phone is the better one for you. Now, if you want to pick up either one of these phones, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there. You can help support the channel at the same time. Now, starting off side by side, you can definitely tell that these phones look a little bit more different than usual. Totally joking, they look exactly the same. The iPhone XS that came back out in 2018 has a 5.8-inch Super Retina OLED display, and it's not really that outdated of a design when compared to something like the iPhone 14. This thing still has the notch up top, still has a little bit of bezel, like it's not the slimmest amount of bezel, I guess, compared to nowadays, and you still have a curved design. But the panel itself is still 60 hertz. It still has the notch, and it's not a bad looking panel at all. Like these panels are still very, very good. On the iPhone 14, it's a little bit of a bigger 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. Now you're still maintaining that notch, and you are actually getting a little bit less bezel around the phone, which seems nice, but it's not less bezel overall because it is actually just the flatter trimmer design, which is very interesting. And it is still 60 hertz, but the panel gets brighter. But I do feel like the display on the XS was actually better than the display on these ones. Like I feel like it's a little bit of a different type of layout. I don't know the best way to describe it, but I do feel like the XS display is better, but this one gets brighter. So I also think the notch goes down a little bit deeper here too, which was kind of an interesting choice. In terms of thinness and thickness, it's also a little bit of a difference because we are on a flat side on the iPhone, on the iPhone 14. I don't know why this is not focusing. Because we had a flat side on the iPhone 14, this is going to be basically giving us a little bit of a different experience comparing thinness. The iPhone XS had a curved design, so you're always going to be feeling the thickest point on the iPhone 14. On the XS, it kind of slopes in, so it doesn't feel as thick, but I would probably argue that the 14 is a thicker phone, which is perfectly fine. You still have the volume off buttons and all this other stuff, but we did have a SIM card tray on our iPhone XS, where we did not have a SIM card tray anymore on our iPhone 14, which is a very sad thing, and I'm very, very sad that Apple went ahead and actually did that. Now in the back, we have different setups, but they're also kind of similar too, which is very cute. So we have dual camera setups on both, but they are different kind of lenses. We have glass backs on both Apple logos here too. We have wireless charging on both. We do have MagSafe capability here too. And it's very interesting because there's a lot of overlap. Now, we'll get into details more in a little bit about the main differences here, but do keep in mind that the 14 will definitely be giving you, bigger battery. It's going to be giving you 5G. It's going to be giving you emergency SOS via satellite mode, crash detection, a lot of cool things here. But the XS also supports a lot of cool features. It's not really like a super outdated design. It's not like a super outdated phone either. So just because you have a XS doesn't necessarily mean you have to go and upgrade to a 14, unless you have like an upgrade available or someone's giving you an iPhone 14 for free or something like that. Now, another thing I want to talk about is the longevity of the iPhone XS, or at least how long I think the XS is probably going to last. Now, this phone came out in 2018, and it's currently actually the second generation of the last phones that are supported on iOS 16. So the iPhone 10s are there, and the iPhone, 10s are there. So I don't know if Apple's going to go ahead and cut out the iPhone 10s on iOS 16. They may end up cutting them out on iOS 17. At least I really hope so. And if that ends up being the case, well then the iPhone 10s at the earliest are probably going to end off on iOS 17. If they end up lasting that long, then I feel like they may end up lasting until iOS 18. So you still have like a few more years regardless on your iPhone XS. So you'll still be good on a phone like this. So I wouldn't really be worried about this phone too much. You still have like a few more years left. But if you want the longest lasting phone, obviously the iPhone 14 is there for you. Now let's go and do a speed comparison between both these phones. The iPhone XS has that Apple A12 Bionic chip inside of it with 4 gigabytes of RAM, where the iPhone 14 has that Apple A15 Bionic chip inside of it with 6 gigabytes of RAM. So let's go see which one's a faster phone between both. Okay, there we go. Let's go and hop with the apps in the background. Let's get into it. Let's do phone calls, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's go and hop out of here. Let's do music, 3, 2, 1. Okay, don't even know what to make of this one, so let's go and hop out of here. Let's go and get into their app stores, 3, 2, 1. And I don't know why this thing keeps moving like this. And you can kind of get an idea that, I don't know why the iPhone XS loaded that one up so much faster. So we're going to go ahead and scroll through, and I don't know if there's going to be a big difference here. Kind of the same thing. Let's go up out of here. I'm telling you right now, the refresh rates are identical because they're 60 hertz, but still I think the panel is better on the 10s. It's very, very weird. Photos 3, 2, 1. Okay. About the same thing. Hopping out of here. Let's do mail 3, 2, 1. 14 was faster there. Calendar 3, 2, 1. Okay. Hopping out of here. Let's go and get into Apple TV 3, 2, 1. Okay. Let's go hop out of here. Let's do camera 3, 2, 1. Let's take a photo. Let's go and open up that photo. So, the 10s is actually doing much better than I thought. Podcast 3, 2, 1. So yeah, the 10s has been keeping up very well. Let's do Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. We have this random pop-up here, which is kind of annoying. So I think this is where you're going to see the bigger differences. When you're playing or loading up these bigger games, that's probably when you're going to be seeing like, oh, like this is when this phone is so much faster. And this was probably one of those case in points. Let's try Snapchat 3, 2, 1. Yeah, definitely the 14 here was so much faster, but I was logged into an account here, so you do kind of have to keep that in mind. Let's go and hop out of this one. Let's go and get into Twitter 3, 2, 1. I think the iPhone 14 was faster, but I was logged into an account here that I forgot about. I'm going to hop out of here. Let's try Spotify 3, 2, 1. And I'm logged into an account on both, so fair enough. Hopping out of here. I think that kind of covered up a lot of the similar applications I had on both, Subway Surfers 3, 2, 1. And one thing I will tell you is for my years of using the 10s and my, month of using or like weeks of using the 14, definitely the 14s are faster phones. They brought a lot to the table and everything, but I don't really think there's a big, massive reason to go from an iPhone 10s to an iPhone 14 just based off the performance. I think if you're going from, this phone to this one because of battery life or something, that might be a bigger jump, but just base performance, I don't really think it's going to be that big of it. It's going to be a big difference, but you might want to jump. You could also go from like a 10s to a 13 Pro and get a massive jump in performance too. Now, in terms of the camera qualities, I'll definitely tell you this is probably where the 14 is going to shine the most. The 14 has, I don't know why it's so bright. They both have dual camera setups. The 14 has a wide and ultra wide lens. The 10s has a wide and a telephoto lens. Both can do 4K at 60 on the front, but the iPhone 10s can only do 1080p at 60 on the front, where the iPhone 14 can do 4K at 60 on the back and the front. Now with the 10s, we had standard photo mode, video mode, portrait mode as well, which was nice. And we did have, 4K, we had 1080p at 60 on the front, which was really nice. And I think for this day and age, this camera is pretty decent. It holds up decently well. Like, it's not like the best and highest quality camera anymore. But if you're somebody who needs to just use a camera and, to take Snapchats and, whatnot, then this is probably going to be okay. I think if you're trying to take it up a little bit more of a notch, then maybe you want to go and use something that has an ultra-wide lens. And that is exactly where something like the iPhone 14 plays in. I think phones like the iPhone 11s are perfect because they have, the ultra-wide lenses. So with this type of camera, you can see we have, standard photo mode. We have the 0.5x zoom that we have. We also have video mode. We have cinematic mode, which is beautiful. It basically is like portrait mode for videos. We have action mode now, which is awesome. So this is a more quality and way more capable lens than something like the iPhone XS. So it's definitely a way better camera than the iPhone XS as well. And I will definitely tell you, to kind of sum up this whole entire video, I think the iPhone 14 is a better phone overall. You're getting way better battery life from my battery test I've done. You're getting a better not better display. You're getting a bigger display. You're getting a smaller notch. You're getting better cameras for sure. You're getting better performance, more RAM, and it's a more optimized phone that's going to last a longer amount of time. But I do think if you have a 10s, if you're able to keep it for a little bit longer, I would probably recommend keeping it for another year. If you can't, then I would recommend seeing if you can go and jump up to an iPhone 13 Pro. That is a phone that's going to be available in the used market now. You can probably buy it for probably around $700 in the next few months. And that is a phone that is going to be better than this, and it's going to be way better than this, and it's going to be cheaper than this phone. So the choice is yours, but definitely that's kind of how they both compare. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.